Hello and welcome to Book Summarist. Imagine you're walking down a familiar street. You instinctively recognize faces, navigate obstacles, and maybe even hum a song, all without consciously thinking. But then you come across a complex math problem. You stop, your focus sharpens, and suddenly, your brain slows down, carefully working through the solution. This shift from effortless intuition to deliberate reasoning is the essence of Daniel Kahneman's Thinking, Fast and Slow, a book that uncovers the hidden forces driving our decisions and the surprising ways our minds can trick us. Kahneman introduces us to two distinct ways our brain processes information. He calls them System 1 and System 2. System 1 is fast, automatic, and effortless. It's what allows you to instantly recognize someone's emotions, complete familiar tasks without much thought, and make snap judgments in the blink of an eye. It's what makes you instinctively step back when you see a speeding car approaching or laugh at a joke before consciously analyzing why it's funny. System 1 is powerful and essential for navigating the world, but it's also prone to errors because it relies on mental shortcuts or heuristics to make decisions quickly. Then there's System 2, the slow, deliberate, and logical side of our thinking. This is what kicks in when you're solving a difficult math problem, evaluating a complex argument, or learning a new skill. Unlike System 1, it requires effort and energy, so we tend to avoid using it unless absolutely necessary. Most of our daily decisions are handled by System 1 because it's efficient and requires minimal effort, but this also makes it vulnerable to mistakes. System 2, while more accurate, is lazy. It only steps in when System 1 is either confused or forced to slow down. Kahneman reveals how these two systems interact through cognitive biases, systematic errors in thinking that affect our judgment and decision-making. One of the most common is the anchoring bias, where our decisions are influenced by the first piece of information we see. Imagine you walk into a store and see a jacket that was originally priced at $10,000, now on sale for $5,000. Even if the jacket is only worth $3,000, the fact that you saw the original price first makes you think you're getting a great deal. Then there's the availability heuristic, which leads us to judge the probability of an event based on how easily examples come to mind. If you recently heard about a plane crash on the news, you might suddenly feel that flying is dangerous, even though statistics show that it's far safer than driving. Another powerful bias is loss aversion, which explains why people fear losing money more than they enjoy gaining it. Imagine you are given $1,000. That's great. But if you gain $2,000 and then lose $1,000, even though you still have the same $1,000 in the end, the experience feels worse. Losing something has a stronger emotional impact than gaining something of equal value, which explains why people tend to avoid risks even when the potential rewards outweigh the potential losses. This tendency is central to prospect theory, one of Kahneman's most groundbreaking contributions to behavioral economics. He discovered that we don't treat gains and losses equally, which leads to irrational financial decisions. This is why investors hold on to bad stocks for too long, unwilling to sell at a loss, hoping the price will recover. It's why people buy insurance even for unlikely events, paying a premium just to avoid the feeling of potential loss. Kahneman also explains how we fall into the trap of overconfidence, believing we know more than we actually do. Experts in fields like finance and politics often make predictions with strong confidence, yet research shows their accuracy is no better than random guessing. This illusion of knowledge makes us underestimate risks and overestimate our abilities. He also introduces the concept of regression to the mean, explaining why extreme success or failure is often just a temporary fluctuation. For example, if an investor has an incredible year in the stock market, it's tempting to believe they are exceptionally skilled. But in reality, their success is partly due to luck, and they're likely to have an average or even below average year next. This is why the same sports players or CEOs who are celebrated one year often struggle the next. It's not because they suddenly lost their talent, but because their performance was bound to return to the average over time. Understanding these biases can help us make better decisions in everyday life. When making big choices, slow down and let System 2 take over. Before acting on intuition, ask yourself whether System 1 is leading you into a bias. Be cautious of overconfidence. If something seems obvious, challenge your assumptions. When someone tries to anchor you with a high price or an exaggerated claim, take a step back and reevaluate. The key takeaway from Thinking, Fast and Slow is that while our minds are wired for fast, intuitive thinking, this can lead us astray. By recognizing our cognitive biases and engaging our slow, analytical thinking when it matters most, we can make better choices, avoid costly mistakes, and ultimately take control of the way we think and act in the world. If you liked this summary, consider subscribing to our channel. Your support gives us the motivation to keep creating more engaging content.